to the story time with Toga Rider. This is a story of a young lad and his adventures with a dragon. Well, misfortunes with a dragon. It was a cold February day, specifically the day of the Deadpool. One of the most amazing movies I have ever watched, and I love it. I will watch that movie another 2 times for free, or yeah, whatever. So it begins with a friend. This was one of the female friends, aka the dragon. She had I want to say a rough month. She got in a little dispute with her ex-boyfriend, and you know, she was feeling down in the dumps. And we both happen to love comic book characters and virtually everything comic book-esque. And she ends up you know, tagging along with me to go see this movie. And we get to the movie, we sit through it, we enjoy it. It's lovely, it's amazing. Deadpool was what Deadpool was supposed to be. I laughed, I cried, I pissed myself, got a boner at one point, but you know, it was a completely heterosexual boner, you know, for Ryan Reynolds, because he gives me boners. But anywho, whatchamacallit, so on the way out, you know, I'm all happy, the movie was great. And then you know, I keep saying, you know, and then I walk outside with the dragon. Why I call her a dragon, I'm getting to that. So this girl, you know, hops in the car and we're getting ready to leave. And she goes, "Will, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, "Yeah, why the hell not?" She's like, "Can you take me to Toys R Us?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got you." I was like, "It's right on the way home, it's no problem." I was like, "We can go to Toys R Us, it's no big deal, I got you." So we started heading to Toys R Us, which is literally like 10 minutes down the road. And I start, you know, I turn on my music, because I love to drive to music. I have something over like 1,000 something songs, so I'm just jamming. And then she starts singing along, because it happened to be a song she knew. And all of a sudden I started feeling faint. I was like, I don't feel so good. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, I feel lightheaded. I was like, why do I feel so lightheaded? And she continues to sing, and I'm like, like I'm starting to feel worse. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm still trying to figure out why I feel so sick. I'm like, I shouldn't feel like this. This is crazy. And then I turn to her, and she turns to me and starts singing in my face. And that's where it hit me, where I knew she was a fire-breathing dragon. Not, you know, of myths, actual living dragon. This shit was ridiculous. The girl's breath smelled like, really, bitch? The girl's breath smelled like anal death, or like, you know those medicines that say take and can cause anal leakage? Her breath was anal leakage. And I'm like, sweet Jesus. I was like, oh, her breath is so fucking bad. And I'm like, does she know? And I'm just looking at her, and I think she's like thinking I'm looking at her because she's singing real well or something. And I'm like, do you know how bad your breath is? Like, honestly, I was like, girl, you're killing me. I was like, I can't breathe in here. And you know, being the nice guy that I am sometimes, I didn't want to say nothing because I felt like it'd be rude. I'm like, do I tell this girl her breath smells like athlete's ass after, you know, 3-hour practice or something like that? I was like, or do I just let it be? I was like, we're going home anyway. And I kid you not, I fucked up. I intensified the breath. It happened to be almost negative, like I want to say 5 outside. So I decided, I was like, it's kind of cold outside, so I'm gonna turn the heat all the way up. The next song on the playlist starts. She knew this one too. She started singing, and her breath mixed with the hot air from the fucking the heater. And I'm like, this is how storms are caused, like when warm fronts hit cold fronts, but this is like bad breath versus fucking hot air. Like I'm like, not only am I feeling faint, I'm watching the hair on my arms like roll up and dissolve. Like it's getting bad. It's getting real bad. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, yo, I can't fucking do this. So we finally get to Toys R Us, and she's like, oh, do you want to come inside with me? I was like, no, you go ahead, because I need some time to recover, because if I didn't, I'd die. I honestly would. I'd fucking pass out and just fucking die. I'm like, oh God, thank you for fresh air. I even cracked the window knowing that, frostbite is like, it'll take 5 seconds to get frostbite. I didn't care. I wanted to breathe again. Girl had breath like, I don't even know. I never like dealt with breath like that, except for this dude I work with, but he has halitosis, so he has an excuse for it. He has chronic halitosis. And this girl is just, in there, killing all the kids and the people working in there. She's breathing, probably talking to herself or on the phone, and everybody has to walk into that cloud of fucking breath, and it's terrible. And I feel real bad, because like I think that's I'd be accomplice to murder, because I knew about it, but I let her go anyway. So I'm starting to get scared, because she's taking a long time in here. I'm like, yo, everybody's dropping in there, and she's probably trying to resuscitate them, which is not a good idea, especially with the level of stink breath she got. So she finally starts to come back out, and I'm like, woo. I'm like, oh God, here we go again. I was like, take 2 of stink breath. I was like, oh God, this bitch. Like, honestly, I felt like if we had sparked a match, it would have caught flame, and she would have been able to blow fire. That's honestly how I feel. Because I was like, how do you escape shit like this? I was like, you don't. You kind of got to suck it up. God damn, she thick. So I'm like, I gotta do this, because I was like, I gotta get home. So we start driving, and I changed the complete playlist. No longer is it R&B songs for her to sing, because I'm scared that I'm gonna pass out in the car. So I was like, I'm gonna switch it to some rap songs, because she doesn't listen to rap like that. So maybe that's better for me. Maybe I'll be safer. She won't open her mouth. I was wrong. She opened her mouth and decided to try to sing the songs, even though she didn't know the words, which, by the way, is even worse than singing a song and knowing the words, because her breath was just burning up the interior of my car. Like, my leather starting to peel, my eyes are tearing. Like, I'm like virtually, I'm on the verge of dying. I was like, how much longer can I take? I was like, home is only a few minutes away. I was like, I gotta make it. Then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, what could I compare her breath to? And this is fucked up, but the only thing I could compare her breath to was Auschwitz. And I was like, I'm pretty sure if you know, somebody who survived, you know, Auschwitz smelt the girl's breath, they fucking die. And it would be terrible. And I'd feel bad. Because her breath was terra-fucking-able. That's not even a word, but it makes sense. And I'm like, I'm doing something bad, I'm texting and driving. And I'm like, oh my God. So I hit my homeboy up. I'm like, yo, her breath. It's like, I was like, it's like molten garbage, dude. I was like, I don't know what to do. He was like, yo, give her a piece of gum. I'm like, have you ever smelled shit and mint at the same time? I was like, yo, that's not a good combination. I was like, that shit is terrible. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm like, dude, I can't give her gum because it would just be, it'd be worse. I'm like, I gotta sit it out. I was like, we're almost there, 5 minutes, T-minus 5 minutes. You know, I'm holding my breath and she's talking to me now. And I'm just like, why are you talking to me? It hurts. Don't talk to me, lady. It fucking hurts. And there's tears coming down my eyes. She's like, why are you crying? I'm like, if only you knew. I was like, Will, just say something. Just tell her. Her breath smells like she's been eating ass for 3 months. Just tell her. Does Will tell her? Nope. Will keep suffering. So I get home and I'm like, yo, Mom. I was like, this girl's breath was, it was on some other shit. She's like, what do you mean? I mean, like, I've never experienced anything like that before. I was like, it smells like her fucking butthole was connected to her fucking mouth. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with her. She was like, maybe she's not taking care of herself. She needs some food. I'm like, Mom, food is not gonna help that. She's like, when you get really hungry and don't eat, your breath stinks. I'm like, I know. But for somebody not to notice that shit, that's ridiculous. Her breath was, it was crazy. I don't even know what to do. I didn't even know what to do. I still don't know what to do. Every time I look at her, I get flashbacks of her breath. It doesn't, the last time I ran into her breath wasn't bad. But the flashbacks came. It was like, oh. Like, honestly, if she wanted to, she could have knocked me out and stole all my shit. All it would take is one fucking whisper. Just, Will. Sweet Jesus. It is windy as shit.